Afternoon, everyone. This is Joe Guzza, and you're watching Folk Project Television. I have a really special show for you today. I'm going to start out with two songs of a very political nature. Now, these songs were given to us in the hopes that we would broadcast them. One of them is by Benson, and the second one is by Faerie Elaine Silver. Now, both of these songs are quite partisan. And I'm not saying that Folk Project or Folk Project Television is necessarily advocating this particular political point of view. But since we were asked to bring these particular songs to you, we're going to do so. After all, folk music has always been about speaking one's mind. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity for us to allow some musicians that exact opportunity. After that, we're going to have a wonderful interview with the folks from Circle Around the Sun. So, hang on to your hats. We're ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Thanks very much.
Mussolini Wanna Be is plain for all to see. Mussolini Wanna Be. You might say, who was he? Hitler's buddy back in 43. Mussolini Wanna Be. We all know the press has the power of the veto. But that doesn't mean you go and act like Benito. Don't you think what we really need, though, is a leader for all women and men, not a guy with such a thin skin? Mussolini Wanna Be, plain for all to see. But we're talking about our presidency. He said his businesses can't conflict. That sure sounds like Tricky Dick. Been down this road before, and I thought we'd shut that door. But here we are in an even worse boat. He didn't even win the popular vote. I really can't stand that hair, and he just thinks he can grab anywhere. Like an angry little boy, but we can't be his toy. We're the ones he'll be screwing, just 'cause he doesn't know what he's doing. I couldn't look the other way when he said what he said about Mexicans. I couldn't look the other way when he said what he said about women. Couldn't look the other way when he said what he said about Muslims. Couldn't look the other way when he mocked the disabled. Part of the song could go on for so long, it makes me want to shout. If he ignores what the scientists tell us, we may not have a planet to argue about. Mussolini Wanna Be, it's plain for all to see. Can't take it if you disagree. Did you hear about what his ex-wife had said, though? To keep Hitler's speeches right next to his bed, you know. I know we're all so tired of the Hitler analogy. Yes, it's kind of played out, so this is what it's gotta be. We got a Mussolini Wanna Be. Take a look and I think you'll agree. Hitler's buddy back in 43. If you check out some history. We can't look the other way if he wants to appoint racists. We can't look the other way if he buddies up to Putin. We can't look the other way if he's not serving all of us. Can't look the the other way while he ignores a pandemic. Does these things he said he's gonna do, we gotta throw him out on his can. Now when he misses meetings because he's busy tweeting, I guess that fits his attention span. I don't care if his hands aren't big, he's just not right for this gig.
We are the people and we can bring change. We have the power to rearrange. Vote 'em in, vote 'em out as we march, sing and shout. Vote 'em out, vote 'em in, this could be a big win. We are the people and we can bring change. We have the power to rearrange. The world will be saved by the Western women, that's clear. One step at a time as we let go of fear. We are the women and we have brought change. We've taken our power and we've rearranged. Vote 'em in, vote 'em out's what I'm talking about. Vote 'em out, vote 'em in, this is now our biggest win. It takes a measure of courage to work on this plan, and we have been willing since time began. See the change, be the change, yes we can, yes we can. See the change, be the change, yes we can, yes we can. There is a rule that is golden and true. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. And we are the people and we can bring change. Right now in this hour there's power to claim. We are the people and we have brought change. We've taken our power and we've rearranged. We're getting through, there's more to do as crooked laws are bitter due. There's more to be, there's more to see, we're taking back our country. We are the people and we're bringing change. We have the power to rearrange. Vote 'em in, vote 'em out as we march, sing and shout. Vote 'em out, vote 'em in, this is now our biggest win. This is now our biggest win. See the change, be the change, yes we can, yes we can. See the change, be the change, yes we can, yes we can. See the change, be the change, yes we can, yes we can. See the change, be the change, yes we can, yes we can, yes we can.
Today we have the very special group with us. It's our Folk Project's very own Circle Around the Sun. And Circle Around the Sun consists of the following people. And if you'll just, they know who Marie is because she's the only woman in the shot. But we have Marie Trontel.
Hi.
Jay Walensky. Chris Bucata. George Lavecchia, nice Irish name. And Joe Bryce. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a song for you, and we'll be back right after the song.
We'll do an original by Marie and Chris called Rain Spritzer. 3 a.m. I can't sleep, can't see the stars. Clouds weep, house is dark, all alone. Wind blows, troubles loom, seem to grow out of coat. Oh no, shadows dance on the wall. I feel small. Rain goes on through it all, soothes my soul as it falls. No matter what is going on, though night is dark, there will be dawn. Though night is dark, there will be dawn. There will be dawn. Had a dream, now it's gone. Want it back, night's too long. Stuck here in a rut, need something, don't know what. Need a song to bring me peace. Troubles fade, worries cease. Need some light, let me see what's real, what could be. Rain goes on through it all, soothes my soul as it falls. No matter what is going on, though night is dark, there will be dawn. Though night is dark, there will be dawn. There will be dawn. Rain goes on through it all, soothes my soul as it falls. No matter what is going on, though night is dark, there will be dawn. Though night is dark, there will be dawn. There will be dawn.
So we're back. That was a great song. And what I'd like to do is to ask you, who's the tacit leader of this band?
Everybody looks at everybody else.
Yeah, I think we try very hard not to have one. I think one of the real strengths of the group is that we all bring something different to the group. And I'd like to think that we're much more a melding than we are an organization. So
I have to say, though, that I think Jay and Marie are the nucleus because
Absolutely.
they provide the beer.
Yeah,
Well,
They provide beer and chocolate.
chocolate.
all right. Well, I can.
That's
I
so
can-
good.
You know,
Chocolate.
even if they weren't leader, if they were my band and I was a part of that band, I'd make them leader just so that they're responsible for the chocolate and beer. Now, bands never just appear out of thin air. There's always an evolution to put them together, make them happen. So one of you tell me about your origins.
Why don't I start? So Jay and I were started as a duo. In fact, before we were a duo, Jay was a solo and I was in other bands, but we've been playing together for more than 15 years now. And we we decided that being a duo wasn't quite the musical experience we wanted. So we wanted some more instruments. Jay, take over.
Well, first of all, I want to give credit where it's due because it really goes back to the folk project. Marie and I sang together for the first time at a folk project evening of music. And I'll just say, Marie has this incredible knack for harmony. And at the same time, Marie's voice and mine blend in a way that you just can't train for. It's just a kind of serendipity. So we sang together for many years, but I'm really not much of a guitar player. And we wanted to be better musically. And we bumped into Chris. We were at a house party at Jeff Fiorini, another folk project member, and we met Chris and we heard his playing and we said, we got to get that guy.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
night.
we were just jamming, and he would throw in these incredible instrumentals, just drop them in like every song, and it was so skillful and so amazing that we came home and I said, let's talk to Chris.
Well, you know what? I have to say though, that night at Jeff Fiorini's, they had a huge bowl of chocolate. That really helped me because I think my resting heart rate was about 120 with all that caffeine. So we really had a lot of fun because that was my first time ever going to any kind of circle. My friend Paul Heitman, he brought me over there to Jeff's house, and there might have only been 12 people in that room.
Yeah, wow.
And I was very shy about playing because I had been usually just playing in my basement in the darkened room for years. And then you guys started playing and I'm thinking, geez, I could throw something in here. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but that night really, I'll never forget it. It was great. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I was in a mushroom band at one time too. They kept me in the basement, fed me nothing but crap.
Yeah.
But if I've been there, I know what that's like.
But then we played for a while. We had a wonderful stand-up bass player, Peter Hagen, who had to leave our band because geographically we are so far apart, and Peter was busy in other projects. So at the time, I was playing in a rock and roll band, and my friend George Lavecchio was our bass player, who was phenomenal, scary person. And I said, wow, they said, Jay and Marie were mentioning, hey, is anybody bass player out there? And I said, well, I have somebody, he's a kind of a rock and roller, but I think if we sedate him heavily, he can come down and play with us. And the Benadryl, we put Benadryl in his drink. He did very well the first night. So
you guys are all friends, right?
Oh, yeah.
God, I hope so.
So I understand.
At least we started out that way.
So I understand that the only person we haven't actually explained how he got here is my friend Joe. So I understand you guys, Joe and Chris are neighbors.
Yeah, I was told a guitar player was going to move in across the street from me, and I felt a little bad because I saw the day he moved in, I was busy in my backyard cutting tile. I was renovating my bathroom, and I'm not sure exactly how he finally spoke, but right away it was, instant. You know how it is, Joe, guitar players, right?
Somebody told me it was something to do with a cup of sugar.
Well, I think I was out of chocolate and I came over to Joe's house.
These recurring themes.
Yeah. I came over and I had heard from the person we bought the house from that Joe was a guitar player, but I came in for chocolate and I saw his guitar in the stand and I said, oh my gosh, this is like heaven. I just moved into a beautiful little street. And Joe was one of the few neighbors who actually came over and said hello when we moved in. Everybody else was averting their gaze. They were not looking at us. But Joe came in and we jammed, I think. We jammed maybe that first or second week. And I said, oh my gosh.
It was.
Yeah, great.
He came over the house with 2 guitars and we fumbled through some stuff, but I think we knew right then that there was something going on, and
Oh, yeah.
it was fun. And then you invited me to your house for a jam, I think. And then next thing I know, Chris comes to my house, knocks on the door, and says, "Are you interested in joining a band?" And at that point, I left a different band, and sure, I played with these guys, and I said, "Geez, you want me to play with you? I'd love it." So
Cool.
Right back at you, buddy.
thank you.
And well,
Yes.
we have lots of your songs to play, so I'd like to take a pause here, and we'll come right back as soon as we listen to this next song.
So this is a song I wrote many, 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 many years ago in a former life. It's with a former band. It's called Homesick for the Sun. Cloudy skies, rainy days, the world's gone taupe and gray. All my bright plans are coming undone. I'm homesick for the sun. I'm homesick for the sun. Now I can handle a storm or two. These days of gray I can't bear. My mind knows the sun is still shining above, but my gut doesn't get that it's there. Cloudy skies, rainy days, the world's gone taupe and gray. All my bright plans are coming undone. I'm homesick for the sun. I'm homesick for the sun. Now it isn't only my shadow I miss, not just sunshine I crave. The rest of what's missing is gone for a while. It's gloomy, it's hard to be brave. Cloudy skies, rainy days, the world's gone taupe and gray. All my bright plans are coming undone. I'm homesick for the sun. I'm homesick for the sun. Well, I wish I could fly above these clouds and they won't go away. I'd melt my walls and beat my bones and drive those blues away. Cloudy sky, rainy days, the world's gone taupe and gray. All my bright plans are coming undone. I'm homesick for the sun. I'm homesick for the sun. I'm homesick for the sun.
Well, we're back, and I'd like to ask a question about the band itself, to circle around the sun. When did the five of you actually decide to create this band? And about when did that happen?
Yeah, you can do that one.
I think it evolved more than
Mm.
there was like an active creation. George, the three of us were playing at a really nice place in Little Falls called the Fine Grind. And George was nice enough to come hear us often. So we got to know George, and George got to know our music. And we brought in Chris, and Peter Hagen had to leave, and we brought in George, and then we brought in Joe, and then all of a sudden here we are. So I think it more evolved than an act of creation. It really did start with the nucleus of Marie and me.
Mhm.
And we just wanted to become better musically. So we've added people who enabled us to do that. And I think that Marie and I have always just been looking for great songs and vocal harmonies. And now we've got musicians who can support that and add to it.
Right.
And at the same time, Marie has been writing all along. Marie and Chris are starting to write songs together. And I just think the synergy going on between the five, we are five, right? The synergy going on between the five of us is really just a wonderful thing. I think we're making, especially now, I think we're starting to make music at a level of sophistication and originality that I never expected to be able to do.
So how did the name Circle Around the Sun happen?
Jay gets credit for that one.
Or blame one or the other,
Yeah.
but that's what, 15 years old?
Yes.
Somehow we just decided that we needed a name, and
We were tired of being Marie and Jay.
Yeah.
And, he came up with that, which he actually had to convince me. It was not my first choice, but
Mhm.
it has stood the test of time. But actually,
Yes.
now a rock and roll, dead tribute type band on the West Coast that calls themselves Circle Around the Sun.
Right.
So, we have a little competition for the name and the publicity now.
Aren't they your tribute band?
There you go.
That's funny. It's a good way to think. I was thinking about suing the pants off of them and retiring. But tribute band sounds good too. Yeah. I like it.
So when was your first gig as a band?
Wow.
We opened for Scott Sheldon at Mary's Place Coffee House somewhere in South Jersey.
Yeah, just Jay and me.
Yep, we did 4 songs or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe we did 6, but I remember that we got toward the end of the song and I said, okay, we have one more song for you. Literally, we have one more song for you. But we really found out that night how much we enjoyed performing together as well as singing together, and it cemented things.
Oh, that's cool. I know you've bandied around the name Albert Hall, and I know that's not a person, that's a place. So why don't you talk to me about that? I understand that's been a significant aspect of your gigs and stuff.
Well,
It's also not in England.
The first time I played out with them was at Albert Hall, actually, and that's it's a music venue down in Waretown that basically every Saturday night seems to get pretty packed.
Mm-hmm.
With they usually have, I think, 6 bands, and it just presented a night of music for, I think, $5 or something like that, whatever they
That's a
paid.
great price.
And people sit there and have bands to listen to all night, and it goes from blues to bluegrass to country, anything that doesn't require electricity, you're going to find there. And that was my first gig with them, and I just loved it. So I just had to stick around.
I think the first time, I do remember the first time I played with Jay and Marie at Albert Hall. I think it was our first time there. I was driving through the Pine Barrens and I passed Albert Hall. I was looking for the place and I saw many, many cars. And I said, oh, that's got to be a used car dealership. That can't be the place we're playing. I mean, the place was mobbed. And the next thing you know, I'm in this dark road. I said, oh, maybe that was the place. So I turned around. I came back. I couldn't find a parking spot. And I get to the front door and it says, standing rooms only, sold out, standing room only. And I had to say, at that point, I was pretty shy about playing in public. I usually just look down at my feet the whole time. I got pretty scared. I said, oh my, there were probably 300 people or more in the room, maybe 350. And they had the professional stage. I mean, really, the sound was terrific. It really was a wonderful night. So we've played there. How many times do you think?
Countless. In fact, we actually don't go there as much just because it's such a brutal drive, especially for the guys who live in North Jersey. It takes them like 2 hours each way.
Yeah, I know that's pretty far down the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't do it often, but we sure don't regret it when we do.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention, they call themselves the Pinelands Folk Music Society or something like that.
Like
And it's,
Cultural Society, Pinelands Cultural Society.
yeah, you got it. And it's a real community. You see the same people, and you see a lot of the same people playing in different bands. And really just one of the most wonderful things about it is you come off stage and the people in the audience say thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just the nicest feeling. You feel like you really touch people when you play there. And at the same time, what a sound system.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel like you're playing a professional gig. Big stage, wonderful sound system. And it's just great to play there. It's just because the audience loves you so much.
I was going to say, though, the other highlight for me after we play, you walk down and people are like putting their hand out to shake your hand or something. They say, nicely done. It's so much fun. But then I have a hot dog and a cup of hot cocoa, and that keeps me going to the drive home. And one time I bought Joe Bryce a hot dog, and he says, "You really want me to eat this thing?" I said, it's really, I know Jay badmouths the hot dogs, but they're really not bad.
No, they're very good.
But I will say that Chris's stomach is made of cast iron. It's the only explanation.
Chris, I forgot about that. I went down there to see you guys before I was in the band. And it was the night that you were talking about. It was some kind of Halloween Jersey Devil thing.
The Jersey Devil night.
The place was absolutely mobbed. And I remember when I found out we were going to go play down there, that was what I was thinking. I was like, oh my God, this place is going to be, insanely, packed with people or whatever. And I had the same feeling as you. It was just a little bit of angst because I hadn't done anything in that kind of a setting since, I was like a teenager. So, but once you get going, it's all good.
Well, you're used to being in rock and roll bands where people are dancing. They're not staring at you, right?
That's right.
Yeah. But also, I just want to say, George is a rock and roll player, and we are not a rock and roll band. And man, has George adapted to what we do. And he just gives us such a great foundation.
Well, my bass, really, I've been listening to blues my whole life. So that's really what a lot of this music is based around. So to fall back into that, that was nothing. That's something I've been listening to, since I was a little kid. And I've always been like a blues-based kind of bass player or whatever. So rock and roll aside, rock and roll basically started with the blues anyway. So
yeah, it's funny you say. It's funny that you should say that because I've discovered going through the archives, going through the archives of the Horses Sing None of It television shows that they've had out. I cannot believe how much is blues based.
Oh, tons.
It's just, it's just like every time you can't swing a dead cat without hitting something blues. Not that I have a dead cat.
Well, you need those minor chords, you can't just do 3/5 harmony all the time.
Mm-hmm. So I guess my next question is, with the pandemic affecting bands throughout the world and performances, how has it impacted you guys?
Well, we had things canceled. We were going to be in the New Jersey Folk Festival, and that was canceled and actually postponed for a year. We had an Albert Hall gig. We had an outdoor gig that basically got canceled. Some of the things have been kind of modified or rescheduled for later in the year. Albert Hall created an outdoor performance venue for a couple months in the summer. I think they've stopped now. So we've lost gigs and it's been hard. What do you think, guys?
Well, yeah, it's the other band that Chris and I are in, and we haven't done it. We played one outdoor fundraiser thing over the summer, but there's nothing else going on. We've been playing quite a few, though, little outdoor gigs with Circle here, and it's just, it keeps you going since you can't play indoors anywhere, and who knows the next time that's going to happen. So, now the winter The winter's going to be quite different, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think I need to say, I need to say, kind of as a folk project person, we're incredibly lucky that we do this for fun. We're not dependent on the income. But thinking about all of the great folk people who are trying to rub two nickels together, I feel very, very lucky that we're not dependent on this. But so many people are. And hats off to the folk project and to the Stay Away for finding work for great players in this terrible time.
Well, it's been an interesting challenge for the various people who are running all of the different functions of the Stay Away to come up with ways to encourage people to play, ways to bring performances. So as one of the people, I'm bringing in a little piece of it, but there's so many other people doing the same kind of thing that it's been something of joy to watch. And I'm just glad that there are people out there doing this for everybody else.
And
Okay.
speaking of the folk project, one of our other favorite gigs is just playing there. I mean, the band has played there many times, and that's a joy.
Now, I've only been to one of the actual getaways and had a wonderful time. I do plan, with a little bit of luck and good health and the pandemic ends at some point soon, to go back and do that again. So I don't know if I'll be playing there, but I'll certainly be listening to some great music there. Now, Joe, I've known you for quite a few years. We jammed over at Mannion's for, I don't know how many years. And I was always very polite, but every time I got next to you, now I'm short, I'm like 5'4", and all I know is that I get a crick in my neck if I'm too close to you and I have to look at you to talk to you. How tall are you?
I hear that a lot. Yeah, we played together for a long time. Mannion's was a good place to meet up. I think we were meeting up there. NJ Amp was meeting there for probably 9 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, every Thursday night. It was really nice. It was always good when you and Carol came. You know, it was nice full crowd.
So how tall are you?
I think about 6'3".
Okay. Somebody told me to ask you why you always wear white shirts, but I only see I see 0 white shirts right now.
You know, actually,
We're not performing.
Yeah, but the obvious answer is that the powder blue tuxedos are at the cleaners.
And we also get a stipend from Tide. With the laundry company wants us to wear very nice white shirts, so we have that on our guitar case. Tide.
I see.
You know, but in all seriousness,
I'm going to give Jay credit for that. You know, we kind of wanted a band look, and and he came up with the white shirts and the like jeans or pants, and I think it gives the band
pants are a good idea.
Pants
are a good idea.
Look. Yeah.
I don't stay on now, so.
There's a semi-serious answer, and Marie was pretty much there, that it doesn't particularly have to be white shirts, but I kind of want to look like a band. I'd like for the 5 of us, for people to say, hey, there they are, and they're the band. And actually, when we get down to Albert Hall, people, look at us and say, hey, you're playing tonight. Great. And I think the shirts have a little something to do with that. It's a very welcome feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is
it's recognizable.
Yeah.
Say that again, Joe?
The next thing is cowboy hats.
Okay, all right. So how does the band pick songs?
Sunglasses and masks.
Yeah.
How does the band pick its songs?
Well, everybody has veto power. So, somebody will come up with something they'd like. And actually, a lot of different people have proposed songs that we have decided we like. But if everybody likes a song, we go for it. And if there's sort of a gee, I don't know if it's right for the band vibe, or, I mean, nobody's ever mean about it, but, I think it's sort of by consensus.
You know what? I get mean about it because anything from the Grateful Dead, I start to regurgitate if I hear anything about the Grateful Dead. Joe and I have been talking about this, and George, I just can't handle them. I'm sorry.
I was never big on the Grateful Dead, but the more you say you don't like it, I don't know, man. The more I listen to them, the more I like them.
Good. Well, we play I Know You Rider. We just don't play it for a week and a half.
But that's not the Dead played it, but that's not a Dead song.
I have to interrupt for just a second. I remember when I played at Mannion's with Joe, he would groan and roll his eyes every time I'd say, "Hey, let's play Space Oddity."
Absolutely. I even walked out a few times to make a phone call. I called home every time you said that. But then when I did play that song, I love playing that tune. I feel like it's at a Broadway show or something. The chord change.
You're talking about the Bowie song?
Well, say that again?
No, the David Bowie song you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Space Oddity.
I like that too.
Right.
But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and throw another one of your songs in here, and let our audience listen to another one of your fine numbers.
Thanks.
And we'll be back immediately following.
This next song makes me wistful because it's starting to not be summer anymore. This is Summer Nights. Dave Sherman and I wrote this one. Summer sweet as honey, summer soft as rain, summer light as waffles, summer bright as flame, summer in a moment, summer in a day, summer nights forever, summer on its way. Gentle summer evening, dusk turns into dark, cicada chorus quiets, and tiny tree frogs start. Folks wait on the front step for stars and fireflies, laying against each other, smile and close their eyes. This is what they waited for all the endless day, the promise of the evening when shadows go away. The breeze that makes the leaves dance is blowing soft and sweet. Troubles seem as far away as noontime's blazing heat. Summer sweet as honey, summer soft as rain, summer light as waffles, summer bright as flame, summer in a moment, summer in a day, summer nights forever, summer on its way. Summer sweet as honey, summer soft as rain, summer light as waffles, summer bright as flame, summer in a moment, summer in a day, summer nights forever, summer on its way. Gentle summer evening, colors bleach to gray, nighttime wins its battle with the west departing day. Streetlights slowly come to light, poles of light appear, surrounded by the velvet dark that draws the houses near. Windows darken one by one, quiet voices still, curtains rustle gently and brush the windows sill. Stars keep blazing vigil like they did long ago. Time and space together, the darkened earth below. Summer sweet as honey, so soft as rain, so light as waffles, summer bright as flame, summer in a moment, summer in a day, summer nights forever, summer on its way.
Well, that was great. So why don't we talk about one more thing? I noticed some Martin guitars, huh? How come everyone doesn't have a Martin?
I'm gonna come right in here. My first guitar was a Sears guitar, 1968 Sears guitar. It you could use it to paddle a canoe. This thing was just indestructible. So I had never really been one for. I don't want to spend a lot of money either. I'm sorry. The Martin guitar is a lovely instrument, and it really is a beautiful thing. And when I turned 40, I went to Rondo Music to buy a guitar because I was using my sister's 1956 Gibson little folk guitar. This thing was great, but she wanted it back. So I said to the guy, show me a Martin, and I played it. It was fine, but I said, I still have two kids that they're going to start college, and can you give me something that I can afford? So he brought out this Canadian guitar called a Seagull, and let me tell you something. I love this guitar. I mean, I sleep with this guitar sometimes. I love this thing. And then I went out and bought another one that has a cutaway so I can go up higher on the neck. So I appreciate a Martin, but I love this Canadian guitar, and sometimes I'm envious of some of these beautiful guitars people bring, but I'll take my Seagulls any day. Just like
sounds good. That's all that counts, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it plays well. I mean, Jay Marie's friend. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out now. The guitar
player, D'Agostino.
Yeah, Peppino. He uses a Seagull, and I got to play a Seagull one night. And this guy is a guitar extraordinaire, really. But I got to play his guitar, and I said, "That's a Seagull. It's a beautiful. It's got a very wide neck, so big fingers, big fat fingers like mine, individually. Because some of these necks are so narrow, I don't know how people can play a basic chord." Okay, that's me. I am getting paid by Seagull now. Thank you.
I have to agree with you. I play my 12 string so often that when I go back to my 6 string, it's just I feel so uncomfortable,
Correct.
It's so much closer.
Very tight.
Guitars are so individualistic. They call to you, and some people are looking for playability, and some people are looking for a certain depth and a certain tone quality. And different guitars just sound different and feel different, and they're right for your needs or they're not.
Yeah.
There are so many great guitars out there.
Yeah,
Sears still makes a fine guitar. Sears, it's called the Craftsman guitar.
Comes in a big red toolbox, right?
Yeah, but having said that, Joe plays an absolutely beautiful Martin, and frankly, so do I.
Yep.
That's funny.
If the Seagull is good enough for Peppino D'Agostino, it's good enough for me.
There you go.
Absolutely.
You have a relationship with a guitar, and it's like, it's sort of like, when you walk into a store and Jay, you said like with flowers, like that one called to me, there can be a bank of beautiful flowers and you will pick one that seems special. So, it's just something clicks.
Well, Chris just said it. He sleeps with his guitar. So, I don't think we want to go any further than that. I want to know the details.
Right. But can I also mention that Marie just noted that I give her flowers? How many points do I get for that?
Okay. And now I want a show of hands. Who sings in the shower? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
It. I know you all do. No?
Oh, yeah.
If we had three more people on my screen.
Chris and Joe both sing, but we really have to work to get them to sing in the band. It's they are both
It's
fully
not
capable singers.
it's not my strong point. I bring Pandora in the shower when I listen to music while I'm in the shower. I might hum a little bit, but that's about it.
And I think I sing about 75% of the waking moments of my life.
No, that's fair.
And we always have music on in the background. I was actually joking the other day. It's like our life is a movie, and there's always a soundtrack.
Soundtrack, right? There you go.
He gets up in the morning, he turns on the music, and it's lovely.
That's nice.
Are any of you writing any songs about the pandemic or about the social issues that are going and things that we're facing here in America today?
I've got one that I'm doing with Dave Sherman that actually we started last winter, but it's so timely. We're almost hesitant to put it out there, but we're probably going to try filming it later this week. But it's about faith and hope and the challenges of holding on to those things.
Right.
How about you, Chris?
I usually go to the default setting. If it's funky, I want to write it. I mean, I don't really. The words. I mean, the couple songs I've written for Circle, I kind of put the melodies together, and Jay and Marie put the words in. So I'm not a real lyric guy. It's all about the beat for me, the funk. I mean, I am basically, George and I, we're pretty much rock and roll types. And again, with enough Benadryl, I can slow myself down and we can play. But no, honestly, I really do like the funky stuff. And the words to me are secondary. I know that's probably heresy to say that. But
I want to just say that it's important that our viewers understand that the Folk Project television show is not endorsing the use of Benadryl to slow down.
Well, honestly, I'm just so happy to have Jay and Marie giving us these lyrics, because I have put a couple songs together the last couple months, and I just send them electronically and I say, here, do something with this. And the next thing you know, you've got these great lyrics. So, and we have a couple more on tap now. So it should be fun.
Okay,
There's one story I like about that. Chris said, okay, I've got this primitive rock lick. Would somebody write some lyrics? So my sick mind processes this and comes back with a song called Primitive Rock. It's fun. It's just plain fun.
Okay. That sounds. I've heard the song, so I know. Jay, question for you specifically.
Yes.
If the pandemic were to disappear today, and there was no risk of getting sick, what's the first thing you would do?
Kiss Marie.
You do that anyway.
Yeah, but that would be a special one.
We'd celebrate. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
it would
Marie,
be celebratory.
all right, Marie, what would you do?
I would have a big music party again. I so miss those.
Oh, those are fun.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been to a couple.
Yeah, you have.
We always had a good time.
Yeah,
you?
There's something else I would do.
I'm sorry,
if I may. There's something else that I would do. I and 4 other Folk Project members are in a classic big band. We call ourselves Reed's Rhythm and All That Brass, and we have not been able to play since the pandemic hit, because in order to social distance, we would need a football field. So after we had the big music party and the celebratory kiss, I would want to reconvene the big band.
How about you, Chris?
You know what? Albert Hall would be fun again, indoors. Again, the sound system, the vibe, the people are so nice. The hot dogs are awesome.
They have good carrot cake.
Yeah, they do.
How about you, Joe?
I'd like to spend more time with my grandkids. I haven't really seen them as much as I like to, and then go to one of Marie and Jade's parties.
I hear you. I hear you. How about you, George?
Go grab a burger and a beer inside a restaurant, watch football, and at some point get married, which that's been kind of put on hold because of the pandemic. So that would be nice to actually finish that. The last
I hear
aspect.
you. I hear that.
Yep.
All right, good, good. If the band could jam or play with a musician or group from any point in history, living or dead, it doesn't matter, with whom would you all like to play? Go ahead.
I have to say the Grateful Dead. Only kidding. Eugene. No, I'm sorry. I had to say Tommy Emmanuel. I would kiss his boots.
Anybody else?
I'd like to play with Greg Allman.
Oh,
He played his laid back album really touched me a lot. I think that was a beautiful album, and if I had a chance to play anything, I'd like to play that stuff with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like one of the harmony groups, Brother Sun, the Red Mollies, the Eagles, one of those ones with multiple parts. There's Simon and Garfunkel, they're Crosby, Stills and Nash. They're just so tight, you won't have a hard time teasing apart the harmony parts. That gives me chills.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jake?
Well, it's kind of a funny question because we're sort of self-contained. We do play all the roles ourselves, but my orientation has always been to the individual folk singers, the John Gorkas and the Cliff Eberhardts and the Cheryl Wheelers. And I think one of the things that's nice that we've been able to do is to take that kind of a music and give it more of a full orchestration, and harmonies. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I'm very happy that we're able to do.
Well, that was a very political answer. You never actually said who'd you like to play with.
Who I'd like to play with.
Yeah.
I'll sing with anybody, anytime, any place.
True politician.
No, I just love to sing. I just love to sing. But actually, okay, I'll tell you who I'd really like to sing with. Marie Truntel.
All right, all right. I guess that's good for another kiss tonight.
Who's operator?
How about you, George?
More flowers.
if I had to pick one person, the first thing that popped in my mind was probably Buddy Guy, just because my jaw drops every time I've seen him live, and just the guy's so creative, and especially I think he's close to like 80 now, and he's still just amazing. I got to see him again last year. Buddy Guy and maybe Jeff Beck. I mean, I couldn't possibly keep up with them instrumentally, but they're just two of my favorite guitar players. So it would be nice to just do anything with them.
Right.
You know what, George? You keep up with them. I've seen you. We've seen you out there. You're awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up something, an opportunity that Marie and I had. Marie and I sang "Walk Away, Renee" in harmony with Peppino D'Agostino playing guitar. And while we're doing this, I'm thinking, okay, this is it. It gets no better than this ever.
I thought you were going to tell me you sang it with the left bank.
No, nope. Peppino's enough. He's a one.
Pino would be a great performer to work with. I would not sneeze at that myself. If I had a choice, I would definitely pick Paul Simon, only because Paul Simon's music is the reason I got my first guitar.
Nice.
So,
For me, it was Tom Rush.
well, what I'd like to do is play one last song and see what our audience thinks of that. So why don't we listen to the next one?
All right.
All right.
Hey everybody, we're Circle Around the Sun, and we're going to start off with a primitive rock song written by Chris Bucata and by me, and it's called Primitive Rock.
Down in the canyon there's a place I know. Down in the canyon there's a place to go. We can lay a blanket right there on the ground. Let the big stone blot out our damn dime store town. Primitive rock, meet you there at 9 o'clock. We're gonna generate one big shock at primitive rock. Fire up the Harley right at 8. Zoom to the canyon, I sure won't be late. Now you choose whiskey, bourbon, beer, or wine. And for one night we'll have one hell of a time. Primitive rock, meet you there at 9 o'clock. We're gonna generate one big shot at primitive rock. I'm gonna see you there. You're gonna see me there. No one will see us anywhere. Turn our backs on that damn dead-end town. The preachers, the peddlers, will shut them all down. Just you and me down on that canyon floor. And we'll do stuff that's not been done before. Primitive rock, meet you there at 9 o'clock. We're gonna generate one big shot at primitive rock. I'm gonna see you there. You're gonna see me there. But no one will see us anywhere. So that's how you and me can get away. Just tell your old man whatever you got to say. 'Cause night in the canyon's dark and sweet and hot, and we can't show each other what we got. Primitive rock, meet you there at 9 o'clock. We're gonna generate seismic shock at primitive rock.
So, okay.
Is there anything you guys wanted to say that he didn't ask us that we would like to go on record?
I didn't do it.
I get it.
I will say that I look forward to rehearsals as much as I look forward to performing with these guys, because just the music that we make together is so, I don't want to say joyous, because it's not all joyous, but it takes you to a different place. You know, it's sort of like you can kind of it's transporting. It's just it's an escape from some of the stuff that we have that we'd like to escape from right now. But you know, it's always been my passion to sing with other people and you know, in a guitar based band. And it is, I mean, I look forward to the rehearsals as much as probably more than the shows, because the shows are a little pressured, but the rehearsals are just plain fun.
I got to recently just the couple songs that the originals that Chris, Marie, Jay came up with. That's been a lot of fun because that you don't get to do that often, and seeing it evolve from what Chris maybe sent out in an email or whatever and said, here, you know, let's check this out, and then seeing how it actually develops and everybody adding their own little things to it, and then the finished project. That's been a blast. You don't get to do that often with the band. So when somebody is talented and actually writes something, we say, oh, let's do this with this.
And Joe, you've been an inspiration for us with that because it's given us a target. You know, the Folk Project TV show it welcomes original songs, and that's really inspired us to kind of push ahead with this. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad to be able to do it. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to try to get more into the show than just going out taking stuff off of the Horses Sing None of It television show. And I got probably a tiny little bit of pushback at first that that would be too much work, or maybe it would, you know, it would not work out. But after we did the first show, in fact, after I mentioned it, the first show became a live interview with Toby Walker. So from that point on,
we're in good company.
I've tried to do, I mean, I've done Tracy Grammer, which was a great one. I've got, there was another one, I'm blanking right now, but another good interview I did a few weeks ago that I'm just so glad to be able to do these live things, to bring music out to the groups that maybe aren't getting the airtime that they deserve, and people like yourself who haven't had any airtime on something of this nature, where now people can come back to our channel anytime they want and see this show and hear your songs that we're airing. So, right. I want to thank the band, all of you, for appearing on the show. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how much, and I hope to continue to get music from you because we're going to continue to air it. I'll continue to do shows that have your music embedded somewhere within the show. And if you have any other people that you know who are interested in being on, or if you have any maybe lesser known artists that you want me to reach out to, let me know. I'll be very happy to do that. We'll see if we can't get them on. I know you've already given me Skip Verinder.
Yep.
And there was one other person. I forget.
Dave Sherman.
Dave, right?
Dave Sherman.
Thank you. That's what happens when you turn old like me. The brain.
Yeah, they call it COVID fog.
I just 4 days ago was my birthday, so from that point on, it's all downhill.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yep.
Not fishing for happy birthdays, but thank you. I appreciate it.
38?
Yes. Yeah, 38 for about the 31st time. So I guess we're good to go now. I appreciate it again, and stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah,
Giving me some great music to air.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for doing it.
Thank you for doing this, Joe. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I just want to keep reminding you to be careful out there. There's still a pandemic going on. And you know all the things I say every time about, social distancing and masks and all that and washing hands. But continue to do that, please. We want to see you around after this pandemic is finished. I also would like to let you know that I really appreciated the fact that I was able to get these songs from Mr. Benson, Ms. Silver, and the Circle Around the Sun band. We had a great time working with everyone on the show. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we can do this again next week. That's my plan at any rate. Until then, please remember, let peace be in your heart. And don't forget to vote. We'll see you next week.